Yeah, you know, kind of with mine.
Okay. All right. Let me know. Let me know how it's going, guys. And by guys, I mean Peter, because he's the only one who can talk to me. All right. Peter. Okay. Is it fixed now? Perfect. All right. So it was Soundflower messing things up. Sorry about that. I hate Soundflower. This is why I'm installing Windows. Okay. Back to the game. So he wedged for whatever reason. White chose. I mean, White has two choices. He can either go on this side. Feel free to interrupt at any time. Let me know if what I'm saying makes sense.
Sure.
So White has two equally valid. Well, sorry, not equally valid options. He has two similar-looking options. He can go either here or here.
Yep.
Normally, the guideline is to play away from your own strength. So, if you do this and Black does this, which is what actually happened. I mean, White is over-concentrated here, right? Like, he's now devoted 3 stones to this corner and only 1 stone here. So, you know, Black already has an advantage in this area.
So should help out his weaker side before his stronger side.
Exactly. So play away from your stronger stones and, you know, contribute to your weaker stones.
Won't Black be pretty tight on the left side now in the middle?
Exactly. So this is worse for Black and therefore better for White, right?
Yeah.
And if White stretches just 1 line further and Black does this, then it's even riskier. So. And there's all sorts of traps around here. So White made a slightly incorrect decision here by actually taking...
Yeah.
Cindy likes Phil's haircut. I told you. Doesn't he look like Richard Gere? Honestly. He looks like a young Richard Gere.
Maybe.
From An Officer and a Gentleman. Okay, so Black does the obvious 2-point extension. This is good. And White takes the high extension. She says she agrees. Watch out, Peter. So White takes the high 2-point extension. I mean, there's the other main option is the low 2-point extension. So the differences and nuances are many. I guess the main thing that I would say about this is that the 3-point invasion is a little bit more attractive for Black now. So. Okay, Black chooses to ignore. He's saying, I have enough space to jump out to the center. I'm going to take that other big point, which I mentioned earlier. I mean, he could have taken either this or this. Well, it looks like he wanted to take both. So, White obviously needs to invade this large framework. If White ignores and, you know, just does, you know, some big move like that, then after a Black move here, this bottom side is starting to look impenetrable without giving up without, you know, giving up thickness in some other part of the board, whereas White still really only has an over-concentrated corner. This is still wide open at the 3-3 point, and Black actually is facing towards a very nice extension on one of these 2 points. So White needs to prevent that from happening, and he does right away. How does Black choose to respond? So this is interesting. The problem here is that. So normally what I would play in a situation like this is that. The idea being that you're sort of cutting off the lines between the stone and the thickness at the top, and White really doesn't have a good place to run. If he wants to push here, then Black is fine with that. He's just building up the left side, which he didn't, the right side, sorry, which he didn't used to have before. And White's thickness is facing towards a strong Black position anyway, so it's not that useful.
And that gives Black lots of territory on the right.
And he gets lots of territory, right? Whereas after a move like this, this is the most common sort of follow-up. And on the one hand, this stone is perfectly denying White's ideal extension.
It kind of traps you in the corner there, though.
Yeah, at the same time, right? Like, this framework he used to have, now there's a giant wedge in it. So this isn't bad for Black, it's just sort of inconsistent with his earlier moves. His earlier moves seem to have a different flavor to them. But White doesn't do that. White plays Q5, which I don't believe I've ever seen this move before at all. And it's probably because it's not very good. So the problem is that it doesn't actually prepare anything. Like, it's not preparing Q3. After this, Q3 doesn't work because of this cut. White has to protect that, and now this is strictly worse than the variation I was showing before.
Yeah.
So this is a great response, and it looks like it's what Black actually played. So if we... Oh, no, it's not what Black actually played. Black played this. which is slightly not ideal because white has that, and now this is threatening sort of an extension on the right here, which will make q14 actually a pretty damn good move.
Yeah.
I mean, black can still take the corner like that, but it's actually in gote. Like, if black plays this and white connects, black can't afford to take this now.
You can't?
Because this cutting point is severe, right? So black will have all sorts of problems like that, or even more aggressively, possibly even like that. So the problem is that if black does this, he actually needs to spend another move protecting this, and then white can grab this.
Yeah.
And this is a very bad result for black. He's being pushed low. This point is important, and white has a very large right side, and now these two stones are starting to look like they're in danger. So let's see how this ended up going. Wait, what's going on? Was there a... Oh, this is as far as they got.
Oh, still thinking.
Okay, so this is where they are right now, it looks like. I thought I was way more behind than I actually am. Peter, can you confirm that this is actually where they are right now, and that I'm not somehow missing a variation? Oh, okay, it looks like that's correct. Okay, so this is the move that white played. So far this is going according to the variation I showed earlier. So r5 is a good move, and it's threatening something like q10. The problem is that black needs to respond to this. If black just grabs q10 without even playing q4, well then white's going to take a large corner in sente. Black can't even follow up because of something like that, and that would be catastrophic.
So what do you think is worth more at this point, the corner or grabbing q10?
The corner. Unfortunately for black, the corner is worth more. In the sense of, like, he has to do it to keep what he used to have already alive, right?
Yeah.
He needs to do something like this, and now white is going to feel free to grab q10.
Okay.
So this is not a good turn of events. Like, in my opinion, the problem is 04. 04 introduces this cutting point at 03, that it's just going to take black a full turn to fix up that weakness, and he doesn't have a turn. It's early in the game, and there's lots of big points on the board, and he just doesn't have time to play a move like 04. Like I said, a better response would have been r5, or if you really wanted to emphasize the bottom, a move like 03 is fine as well. Notice how after 03, r5, now q10 is a possibility. There's not quite as severe a follow-up. Like, there is still that, which is still a very severe move, but black has possibilities like this to stay alive.
So why not just cut right there?
No, why not cut right here?
Yeah.
Because of this.
Oh.
This is actually...
That's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's not actually... Well, it is pretty dead. So. Yeah, that's why you can't do the cut right away, which is why this is a good move, and which is why the best move of all is this, right? Then after that, if he does his cut, then this is fine, right?
Yeah.
And then there's enough liberties, and this cutting point is actually in black's favor now, not in white's favor. So there's a big difference between those moves. I have to stop flashing my email to the stream.
That's okay.
Okay, so black's having a good long think. I'm going to give Andrew the benefit of the doubt that he's not listening in on the stream. If he is, I don't know what to tell him.
Bad Andrew.
Oh, okay, so he did go for q4. So white should just take the p5. This is exactly the variation we went over 2 or 3 moves ago. P5. The stream only has 1 viewer. Ouch. Don't worry, we'll get more.
I'll start tweeting about it.
There's usually... You'll start tweeting about it?
I'll start tweeting about it.
Oh, actually, I should tweet about it. I know at least one or two people who... I'll give him all the hashtags.
Hey, James. How's it going?
There we go. Maybe there'll be more viewers. Hey, James. So, yeah, P5, I mean, I'm not sure what White's thinking about. P5 is an absolute necessity. If you were to, if theoretically, for some reason, he thought that P5 was Gote, you know what I mean by Gote, right?
Nope. What's Gote?
Do you know what I mean by Sente?
Yeah.
Gote is the opposite of Sente.
Okay.
So if it's not Sente, it's Gote. So if for some reason he thought P5 wasn't Sente, which it is, right? It's Sente because of that.
Yeah.
But if for some reason he thought it wasn't and decided to just take Q10 right away, the problem is that P5 is a really huge move. First of all, it practically is Sente, because if White ignores it and takes another big point, there's all sorts of problems around here, right? So actually, White would need to respond to it anyway. And now, yes, White still has this large right side, but Black has gained such impressive thickness along the entire bottom side through this that it almost evens out.
What does Paninos and Go both have in common?
I don't know,
They
James.
both leave you hungry afterwards.
They both have C5. Whoa!
Okay, that was the future Seinfeld right there.
I like it.
Okay, so
Got another member of our team.
so actually,
No.
the game will most likely proceed P5. Then one of these 2 points, probably O3 is better than Q3. And then White will probably take Q10. So let's see if that's what's happening. That is what's happening. Exactly what's happening. White should take Q10 now. If he doesn't, his last 3 moves don't make any sense. Q10, man.
Nope.
O7. Okay, so he's going for... This is what you might call an overplay. So he sees that this is the boundary between these two frameworks.
Right.
He's hoping to sort of swallow the right side whole without playing there, just by playing even more ambitious points, surrounding it on a larger scale.
That's how I would play.
This is often a good idea, but this is the problem with it. It's too open, right?
Yeah.
Often, until you have a good tactical sense, you're not in a good position to evaluate. You're not in a good position to evaluate whether what you have is actually territory or not.
Yeah.
This might look like a territory right here, but it's not. There's too many cutting points. After Q10, it has a serious claim to being white territory, but not now. So Black jumped in right away, which is probably the right decision. This is a good move by Black. Go, Andrew.
So is it better to work his way up from there, or into the center?
That's a good question. It depends. If White goes here, makes sort of the same mistake he made here, and plays something like R8, then he should go towards either R13 or actually even S14. Might be sort of a special purpose move that would be good in this situation. If, on the other hand, White goes around R12, then going to R7 is not so good, especially now with O7, right? He's butting right against Black's thickness. So against R12, he should probably jump onto the center. White has, however, made the same mistake twice. I can already tell that White is a very over-concentrated and conservative player. And so Black did the right thing, which is to play R13. S14 would also have been an interesting idea. Not a good idea in general to make this large jump here, but it works in this one particular case because Black can choose to sacrifice this stone in response to this is probably the most severe follow-up, and Black can choose to ignore this stone basically and sort of just
Take over the corner.
Yeah. So that's why this works in this one particular case. And if White ignores completely, then after connecting up, he can jump into the corner. And if White protects the corner, then after something like this is strictly better than having taken R13. Right. So almost no matter what White does, S14 can lead to a good result. Although possibly a more tactically tricky result after something like this. But let's see what's actually happening.
Wow.
Okay. Again, an over-concentrated move. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of R14 either. It's sort of overcommitting to the corner, considering that the corner is still wide open around here.
Yeah.
Right?
So a good follow-up would be, let's see, R17?
Eventually. Not right away, because right away these stones are still in immediate danger. So if you just did that, white would let black have the corner and sort of try to kill both stones. But if black can save these stones in Sente, then he later has a nice big move around here to look forward to. So this is Aji, right? Like this is forward potential that he can look forward to. So, and this is exactly right. This is the right place to jump out, I'd say. And I would say I'm really happy for black here.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah, black.
Go black. We're rooting for black. We're not partial at all. Let's see how many viewers we're at. There's still at just one? I don't even know. No, we're definitely at more than one because somebody's chatting. Hello. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends. Tell your girlfriends. You love Richard here.
If I put this,
Sorry about that. Okay, so white is thinking. White. Okay, so here's the basic.
Don't do that.
Here's white's basic plan. Black has two weak groups. These are black's two weak groups, the squares and the triangles. Whereas white's group that's cutting them is pretty strong. So white should basically try to attack both of them at once. So what are the good ways to do that? A is an interesting move. He can try to do something like B first, and then after the obvious response, then play something like C. So both of these are possibilities. Something like this, right? Now, if white chooses to defend this group, like this, then now white is in an even better position to attack this group because it's got that there. Mm-hmm. And if black chooses to protect this group, then now white has all sorts of ways to attack that. Yeah. So this is the sort of good move when you have one strong group wedged between two weak groups, right? You sort of just make double attacks like that. Let's see what white actually chose to do. White chose to, oh my god!
Protecting.
White is extremely over-concentrated. This is now, I would say, the third time, if not the fourth time, that he's played a small over-concentrated move in an opening situation where many big moves were waiting, and black gets out one square even further to end 10. I would no longer even classify this as a weak group anymore. I'm not even sure if this is that much of a threat anymore because black can afford to ignore at least one more move against this group here. So
then he's free to go wherever he wants to.
Yeah. So black has been given a lot of leeway this game, which is good, and so far he seems to be making use of it. His stones seem to be well spaced out. Finally, white makes a large. White finally makes sort of the large kind of move that he needs to make, and black takes c8, which would normally look over-concentrated, except for the fact that black is so strong here. Like, if white enlarges his moyo here, then black can enlarge his own moyo there. So it kind of cancels out, right? The only reason this is not an over-concentrated move is because of black's.
So what about somewhere around g8 and just try to take over the entire bottom half?
For who? For white?
For black.
After this, right now?
After that, yeah.
Yeah, that's another possibility. It does somewhat suffer from being too loose, so I would say that this would be a good follow-up for white. But it's...
Are you announcing anyone other than Phil?
Yeah, there's a couple of people on the stream. Peter's here, at least. Just so you have more to talk about. He's about to spill some beans.
Uh-oh.
I want O15, then R17. So he wants O15. Okay, this is the move that I was saying white should take.
Yeah.
So it's good that black wants to take it, and then R17, which is also the move I said black should take.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not watching the stream, Andrew? Say no if you're not watching the stream. I'm trying to trick him. And E10. Yeah. So all of the moves that that black is mentioning are very important moves. So he's talking about this, which I've already discussed why that's important. He's talking about this, I've already discussed why that's important. And he's talking about this, which I've discussed. He's looking at exactly the same moves I am. Now, E10 is a large move for white. I'm not sure black can take it. Like, you know, it suffers from this obvious cut right here. So white can choose, black can choose to treat that stone lightly and just use it as like a way to get sente for these moves.
Yeah.
And you know, these 3 moves are now in sente thanks to that stone. But I'm still not sure that's right. If he wants to play something like that, it should be here.
Can he like start reducing white's territory?
Yeah.
In the top left if he goes there though?
If he goes here,
Yeah.
what's the variation you have in mind? Should move the mouse.
Oh man. So you're saying white should go here?
Yep.
So can't black move somewhere up here?
Something like this, you mean?
Yeah.
That is a possibility. It really comes down to tactics at that point. I don't feel that this is tactically a good situation for black. So white has this, which is sente. If black ignores, then this kills. Right? If black tries to connect underneath, then he'll.
Well, it's just like
Probably like
one stone in the middle.
Yeah, but it's enough to make eyes, right? Like
Yeah.
after this, then white practically already has 2 eyes.
It's like now
And
you have so much
all he needs to do is
influence,
live.
like going up near the top though.
That's true. That's true. It's not really influence because these stones are baseless.
Okay.
But you're right. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
For those of us
I'm
who are
I'm just
still
not sure that it would.
Q30,
I'm just not sure that it would work. Pardon?
For those of us who are still Q30, what's baseless mean?
It means it doesn't have eye space. It doesn't have room to make eyes. Thank you. We now have the 30Q perspective as well. Ooh, wow, lots has happened here. So, white once again decided to make a sort of a conservative territorial plan, and black took the perfect advantage of it. O15 is a move we've been talking about for like 5 or 6 minutes now.
Yeah.
It prevents white from making that wedge. It really solidifies both of these weak groups. I would say black has like no more problems on the board at this point. White is really intent on investing like every move into growing some small territorial framework, and this is going to bite him. Black is now spread over much more of the board than white is. Black grabs R17, which, like I said, is one of the problems with R14. Right? He overinvested so much in this corner, and now he's not even going to get the corner out of it. White does that, and black does that. So actually, black should probably do this in sente first. Right? So, see, he says E10 might be wrong, though, because it's kind of similar to the game with you. That's what he had said. And I hope you didn't just say that, so you think I'm cheating. Yeah, so, yeah, actually E10 is kind of similar to a move he played in the game against me, and that exact variation that I showed happened.
Yeah.
And it seems like he remembers that, which is good. So, yeah, as I was saying, prior to taking this, he should first do this in sente. This is sente, right? White can't take this because of that, right? So because of this stone, this is sente. So black has to take that, and now black can do that again in sente, and now black is alive in the corner, and white has 0 eyes, right? Like it's not a huge amount of trouble for him, right? Because he has like places to jump out to, but it's still not a great situation. By taking this first, actually white can sort of force some tactics here. It's not so clear to me that black can live anymore. Let's see what actually happened. Okay, this is not a good move because it allows white to take Q18 anyway, which he does. Okay, and this is a terrible move just because now black has 2. This is a Mii situation, right? Black can move here to live, and black can move here to live.
Yep.
So whichever one white takes, black will take the other. So if white protects that stone, then black connects. And if white does this, then after that sequence, black lives. So either way, black is going to be just fine after this move. Black, I guess, is still deciding which one of those 2 options to take. Cool. See, we got there's at least
We're
one
teaching
person
somebody.
learning from us. Thank you for giving purpose to our random discussions. Because he said so on the chat. On the Twitch chat. Nope. Peter's also watching, and Cindy. And probably Wilson, because Wilson gets emailed every time we do this.
Gotta Wilson start playing hardcore again.
He is. He's got a 2-down ranking on
He's only
KJS
played
now.
6 games.
Pardon?
He told me he's only played 6 games.
On KJS?
That's what he said.
Yeah, 6 games is enough to get any ranking. Because you can play against any level you want, right? If you play against done players and beat them all,
I find it pretty impressive, though, considering he hasn't played in 10 years.
It's not like Diablo where like you have to work your way up for 30Q.
Yeah. I find it impressive, though, how after 20 years or whatever, or 10 years,
Yeah, I find it impressive too.
to gone.
Wilson's an amazing
That
guy.
shows you just how much stronger the Chinese rating is than the North American one.
Or it just shows how. Okay, so this is exactly the move we discussed, right? So now S15 and P18 are Sente. I mean, are Miai. So now it's sort of up to white which one he wants to take, but it doesn't matter. Black is going to live regardless. I think Andrew will be pretty satisfied with himself watching this afterwards. You're doing good, Andrew. You're doing good.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, actually, it looks like you're the star of the show, Josh.
I'm actually the one who's giving the whole commentary.
You are. I'm just lip syncing. He's practicing ventriloquism. He's pretty damn good at it.
So, Josh, where would you go as white right now?
As white?
Yep.
I think I would completely. This is the 30Q perspective. I think I would completely ignore the skirmish in the top right at this point.
So the problem is, if white ignores it, white's actually in serious danger of dying altogether. Like, if black responds properly, if white responds properly, he's not in any danger. After black does that, he can probably make life by doing this. But if he ignores it, and black gets a move like this as well, then actually white will probably lose this entire corner, and this whole region will die.
It's not already essentially dead.
No, it's not. If white plays this properly, he will live. Although it's still a failure for him, right? Because he actually invested 3 moves into this corner. So the fact that he is barely surviving is actually a serious problem. He should be making territory, right? He's not, but he should still be able to survive. This move requires a response, right? If black ignores it and does something like this to remove eye space, then white can cause some problems for black like this. And now it's these black stones which have to try to live, and they won't. So black has to respond to this move by doing this. So now white can make an eye by doing that. And at this point, white will probably live.
At that point, white can make a second eye, right?
Like this, you mean? Well, black can remove that second eye there, but then white will make another one by going here. So yeah, essentially you're correct.
So actually it is. I see.
So white can live, which is still kind of a failure on his part. That all he's doing is living. Okay. This is a bad move by white. It doesn't really do anything except let black take a few more points, right? This is still Sente.
Yep.
Because if white ignores it, then that. And there's a little flourish here, right? If white does this, black doesn't need to capture here. He can play here. Which, when white captures, there's a snapback to get even more stones. Why is that a big difference? Just because it's easier for black to deny eyes from here than like this. So black is in an excellent position, and I'm pretty sure he knows it. I'm kind of curious if black can actually start thinking about killing now.
Does black not have to take T17?
He might T17. He does have to take T17. My question is, if after T17, if he still has to take P18, because after this, I wonder if this is still a problem. Like, yeah, see, black can live in the corner now, like this, right? These 2 points are
Yeah.
Right. So actually, thanks to this move, black can now take this point, right, and not worry too much about P18. So I'm not saying he should do that because it's still kind of risky. Because
But if he doesn't take T17, then he would be then white could potentially get into a 30-year position.
yeah, well, if he doesn't take T17, he's definitely going to play P18. He's going to play one of these 2 moves next. I'm almost certain.
If white then follows up,
If white then does this, then he's probably going to live, which is fine. Well, it's not a huge loss if white lives, but he probably will live. So the question is whether black will be brave enough. Like I was saying, it's still not a certain thing, right? Because even after this, like, white can still get out. Like, he's got the possibility to maybe make one eye here, the possibility to maybe make one eye here. and the possibility to maybe make one eye here. So he'll probably die, but it's not a for sure thing. But he'll probably die. Wow, I think we've got more people watching me behind my shoulder than on the screen. No, that's not true. I hope.
Extra eyes.
Okay, so he is going to take T17. White is going to need to respond with something like either S15 or S14. And then the question is, will Black be brave enough? Okay, S14. So he's getting one eye there. The question is whether Black is brave enough to omit P18 in order to take S13. Right? It's a matter right now of bravery. This is the safe move, and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
And Black is still ahead. This is the risky move, which has the possibility to kill, right? Black can still remove an eye by moving here, right? White still doesn't actually have an eye here. Because if White goes here, Black goes... Well, that works too, actually. Technically, it still works because of this. Right. So, he's got, like, half an eye here, and, like, half an eye here. None of these are actually full eyes. Right? So, I think the risk is a warranted one. I don't know if Andrew would take it.
No, actually, take it back.
Sorry?
Take it back.
After
you
this
want to play a
stream.
game?
No.
I need the beginner perspective, guys. I need you. Don't worry, the game's not going to take that long.
I'm not going to play.
The way things are going, White might resign soon. Let's see if White is the resigning kind of guy.
I would never resign.
Let's see how often he resigns. Oh, he rarely resigns. 59. Yeah, he rarely resigns. So this might be a long game, no matter how hopeless it gets for Black. I mean, for White.
What's his ranking?
He's a 10Q on KGS. I believe he's a 9Q in the CGA, and this is a CGA game. So as far as Andrew's ranking is concerned, he's a 9Q.
Entry right now?
Pardon?
What's the entry right now?
According to the CGA, he's 12Q, I think.
Wasn't he? So he was like 15 when he started a month or two ago, right?
Well, no. His strongest rank ever, which is what he said the strongest I've ever been is 15Q, but when he actually started, like, he had not played in so long, he was back down to 420. So he's improved, like, 9 or 10 stones in the last few months. Which is really good. I'm, like, super impressed with Andrew.
So how do you move from KGS to CGA?
Well, the CGA is the Canadian Go Association. It used to cost, but they recently made it free. So
Okay.
you basically just send in an application. This particular league, you have to be at least 10Q.
Okay.
And
Not there yet.
Yeah, you'll get there. We'll get there soon. At your rate. Okay, so Black. I'm assuming Black is deciding between S13 and P18. It also can't hurt to play this as a forcing move first, right? Like before making the decision, just play that out.
A little bit. You see an extra stone.
Yeah, just like it prevents. Like White might have some good tactics around here, like threatening to make an eye by playing here.
Yeah.
So just doing this to remove that possibility, and then do it anyway. How did this go? Yeah, so just do that, and then do that. So, White, if this happens, White basically has to like try to jump out into here and pull some crazy tactic out of his hat to survive.
Yeah.
So let's see what's actually happening. Okay, Black chose to just play P18. He did not take the risky path, so White should certainly...
If White does survive, would he... This area is maybe not great, but would he not be in a good position to start expanding?
the problem is the people on stream can't see where you're pointing.
Oh,
so
good point.
You use the mouse.
So there are 3 stones at... I'm wondering if... Can they see this at all?
Yeah, they see the cursor.
I'm wondering if he can move in to start attacking these spaces if White does manage to
Yes.
survive in the corner.
Yes. One of the ways that White can defend this group right now is to put pressure against these stones here. And that's probably what he will do.
At which point he actually may, if he does manage to...
He won't kill them just because they have space to run out into the center. So worst case scenario, white chases black out into the center, and then he has so many different areas to connect back out to.
I don't know, but is going against the side safer?
I was thinking if I could play O13 first, by the way, decided against it. O13 is here. So I think he was thinking in a similar vein to S13, but actually S13 is the right move. He was deciding against playing a risky move to try to kill the group, and a safer move to play it safe. He just didn't have the same killing move as I did. I think S13 is the right tactic. He thinks O13. We'll see what white does. I suspect white will do either this, or something like this, or something like this. Next.
I predict S13.
You predict S13? Okay. He could also do this, right? Forcing that connection, and then do one of these other moves.
Use what?
The idea being that it prevents this. Right? Because of this stone, this doesn't work.
Let's CG.
So, you were right. Your prediction came true. See, this is why I'm glad we have the beginner perspective.
It seemed like the safest one.
It is, yeah.
This guy's
extremely
gonna
conservative.
grab his little territory, hold on to it.
Yeah. And black is just solidifying his weak stones here. That's exactly the right decision.
Alright.
Guess which one this is? Everyone knows which one this is.
So white can push one more time and do this to solidify. I wonder, is this move actually necessary? If white ignores...
That's actually still not
black
high enough.
white actually does need that
a few
move.
different stock splits.
If black plays here, white's in trouble.
That still won't put us at $1 billion valuation.
The two stones?
Stock splits.
Because it's threatening S15, so if he plays like this...
Sorry,
then
that won't put
problems
me
there.
at $1 billion valuation.
So white needs to play like this, which now is...
Stop considering it by yourself. I just like this.
No two eyes there.
No, it's very smart. That's the problem.
So this is actually one of the situations where you have to live in Gote.
Yes.
He'll have to decide. White is also about 6 or 7 minutes below Andrew in terms of time. So
I only just noticed the time.
yeah. There's the time for white. There's the time for black.
I honestly can't imagine time go.
Okay, so not convinced that this is a good idea. Black should just do this. There's only one eye, right? The problem, like, if white did this, then he would live, albeit small, right?
Yeah.
But with this, he's allowing black to create a false eye right here, right? White needs to stay connected, and now this prevents that second eye from happening. And he can still prevent the underneath connection. So actually, white is still in serious danger of dying at this point. He's conservative when he shouldn't be, and when he actually needs to make like a slow, careful move, he jumps. He does a 1-point jump on the second line underneath the third stone, a third line black stone. So I hope Andrew can just make short work of this.
Holy shit, everyone's working so hard.
Yeah.
I was working, and then Adrian sucked me into his go game.
Yeah, it's my fault. I'm sorry. Blame Andrew. He's the one playing.
Yeah, basically it's Andrew's fault.
Yeah, Mac. Okay. My guess is Andrew's deciding if he can do that. Oh, good.
Peeks his way in.
Peeks his way in. So white has to do T12. I mean, T12 doesn't work, but it's the only move that gives him any hope. T12, and now the correct move is S10. S10, man. You can do this, I believe in you. Otherwise, actually, white has other problems. Black has other problems, right? If black does almost anything else, then this is an issue, right? Because of that. So if this happens, then black would have to like do this for 2 turns, and now
Right, okay. So,
connect through.
so why can't black just go for the middle of that? Like T14, as you were saying before.
T14, same reason.
Just for those stones?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. This works in the same way, right? Like white,
Yeah.
because of T14, white still can't make 2 eyes, right? Like prevented from making 2 eyes. Prevented, like this is already not 2 eyes, right? So no matter what, white's not going to get 2 eyes after S10. So S10 is the really key move, and of course it prevents that sequence from earlier because of that, or more precisely. And now at this point, white is almost in a resignable position already. So let's hope black keeps the pressure on with S10. S10, man, you can do this.
But of course, cannot. So that situation you just talked about where black does an invasion.
Yep.
Can white not? So white plays the obvious move where he comes here, kills the dude there. Then he's got.
Sorry, I can't follow. Let me just go to the play it out.
Okay. So black by doing this, yeah.
No. Black has to do S10. Black needs to do S10.
Okay.
Okay. If black were to do this, white might even choose to donate those 2 stones to him and just take this in order to save the rest of the stones. Right? This move puts pressure on these stones. If black blocks, then white will capture. If black extends, then white plays here, which requires him to do the same thing again, right? Again, if black blocks, white captures. Mm-hmm. So black needs to extend again, and now white just goes, okay, thanks. I've gotten all those free moves, and I'm using them to connect. It looks like black has moved, and he played S10. Beautiful. White plays there, and black removes the second eye. So this is exactly the right sequence. So I believe it's safe to say that white is objectively dead now. White is objectively dead now, and it's just a matter of if white can trick him into escaping. But objectively speaking, white is dead, which probably means black has won the game because black is ahead already, and now he's just killed a large group.
All right.
Secured a large corner. So let's do this, Mac.
Just let me know. By the way, white lost.
Yeah. White's best resistance right now is probably 014. This is good resistance here. But again, not too much to worry about. Probably something like this is good. It is a little tough still.
You just break through P.
It's a little tough.
Yeah.
Like, if white plays optimally, maybe there's even still some... Oh, man. White does that. So this is what we call a waste of a move. Like, this is complete gift to white, to black, right? Like, there's still no eye there.
Yeah.
It doesn't accomplish anything, except it gives black another move.
And now he's going to grab.
Now black can, like, remove his last remaining warrior with, like, 013, for instance.
Yeah.
Which I believe he said earlier was the move he wanted to play before, but he wasn't sure if he had time. Now he definitely knows he has time. So, black 013 and white should just resign. I think. He might, again, there's still tricks that he can try like this, right? But you just do that, and this is a false sign. And he can try to break out like this, but actually there's nothing to worry about. So, let's do it. 10Q ain't nothing from that.
Who?
A 10Q.
Oh, 10Q. Yeah.
You following?
That 10Q ain't nothing.
No, the game score.
Yeah.
Do you understand why we're so happy for black?
Yeah, I was trying to see if there's a way of forming something here, and then I was kind of wondering why this area is not considered 9, and then I realized black can kind of break up through that and kill it.
Yeah, white can't really connect underneath here. Black, at worst case scenario, black can just keep on playing on the second line. Black took O13, the point that he said he wanted to grab earlier anyway.
Yeah.
Now he's got it.
So I don't know. What about like P13?
P13. P13?
Yeah.
Yeah, the key to this kind of situation is just to stay calm and not create any more cutting points.
Yeah.
So just this is enough to deal with that.
Okay.
What would white do next?
I don't know, like O14.
O14, Atari connect. That's it. If he tries to connect, create like a ko or something here, just do that. Prevents that out from existing. Or just this, and then it still doesn't exist because it's a ko for that.
Is there no way to just kind of stretch out to like the left?
No, that's Adrian.
For black?
For white?
Yeah.
No, there isn't. Not after this move. Before this move, there could have been a way for him to like run into the center.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Even then, probably not. Not with optimal play by black.
Yeah.
But now after this, it would take a miracle. A small miracle. And indeed, he's trying Josh's approach, which is to try to connect underneath, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Like, if black does this, then it's a ko for life, right? This is the tempting move, right? Under normal situations, this is what you would play, and you would just like, now it's a ko. But black should play this is an ugly move. You don't normally see an empty triangle like this.
Yeah.
But in this situation, it's exactly the right move. It's what black should play. And, oh, shit, it is not what black played. So white now has some chances. It could actually be a ko for life now. So, unfortunately, we're now in a little bit of danger.
So if white wins the ko, it's break out.
If white wins the ko, he breaks out, and he's still losing, but he's no longer lost.
Yeah.
Whereas if black wins the ko, he's won, for sure.
Yeah.
So this is what we call a party ko, in the sense that only one player can lose this ko. Like, one player can either win or be back where he was, and one player can lose or be back where he was. So this is
move by white.
well, this is a ko threat, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to prevent this eye, but after you prevent it, you have to find another ko threat. There's another ko threat right here, but well, actually, it's not really a ko threat because there's too many liberties. Yeah. So actually, that's not a ko threat. Sorry. What ko threats does black actually have? Not too many. That's the problem with being ahead. There's not too many ko threats. All the situations are already in your favor.
Yeah.
So it's actually possible white will win this ko. Wait, what? What just happened? Oh shit. Black decided to ignore this ko threat. So now white can live by doing something like this. Right? Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not quite clear that white is alive after this. Yeah, maybe I missed something. I mean, maybe... No, my god. This is a terrible, disastrous move by white. Gives up the whole benefit he just gained from the ko. Black should definitely sacrifice T9. It's not important at all. He should grab either P16 or preferably P14. No. Okay, so he saved this not very useful stone, leaving these moves still wide open. The correct move was screw that stone. Who cares? This is the cutting stone, not this, right? So he should have taken this, and then when white does that, sure, just protect it, right? Still cut. This is, I mean, now white still has. Sorry, not there. Okay. White still has the move to potentially live. We'll see if it actually turns out that way. Let's see what happens. Let's see how white is going to try to make an eye out of Q15. That's the move I showed. So let's see what black does. The obvious move here is N14. Then I was always showing the connection here, but white may choose to do that. This doesn't make this an eye, because after this is no longer an eye, but now white can jump up there. And black can probably still prevent that, actually. So there's still a lot of variations. There's still a chance black can kill. The only thing that can't happen is for black to have anything bad happen to him. No matter what, black is going to be okay. It's just a question of whether white will be okay. Or whether this game will end by move 100. 63. So that's right, okay. Probably the best move for white is to break out with O16, but I have a feeling he's just going to play P14, maybe even P13, in a misguided attempt to turn this into a ko somehow. I think most likely he's going to play P14. Yep. And now it's a question of whether Andrew will be brave with P16 or whether he'll play it safe with O16.
So why is it brave to do?
Because by playing this, you leave open this cut, right? By playing this is a cut now. So now you protect it, and now there's another cut here. And now white can try to do something to the stone, right? I don't think it'll actually work. I think black is still fine even if this happens. But it's a little bit of bravery. Oh yes!
Yeah, bravery.
Black plays the brave move, and now...
So what was the unbrave move?
The unbrave move was just this.
So, but he's still open to a
But this cut
cut.
this cut is no longer severe. It's not an Atari. The stone is already connected, so black can just do this, protect the cut. He's safe, right? But then that means white can take this move, and now he's got one eye, two eyes, right? So that's why it's not optimal. It's solid and safe for black.
Then basically he's survived.
White is alive. Yeah, white is still losing, but he's at least alive in that group. So, but by doing this, he's risking the cut. Right now, there is a cut available here. But, this group is still down to one eye. So as long as black can hold this, so white is taking the cut. As long as black can hold this, he's recovered from his mistake at T10, and he's still killing the group. So far, so good. So far, so good. Extend. There we go. And now let's see what white has in mind. Let's see how white plans to kill O13. O13 is now the keystone of the game. If O13 stays alive and does its job, then black has won. If it doesn't, then the game is still going on. Black is still winning, but not winning. Yep, did you want to show a variation?
I was going to say, no, I wasn't going to show a variation. I'm just curious. White makes a move in here.
Yep.
How is black going to survive?
Like that.
White makes the obvious cut here.
Yep.
Black goes here. I see.
Yep. So if white goes here, black connects right away?
Yeah, exactly. And if white goes there, black connects down there.
Exactly. White goes down. This is a bamboo joint. Chinese bamboo, very strong. Okay, so far he's doing exactly the Josh variation. Yep. This will be known in the theory books as the Pantony variation.
Probably actually have the first Pantony to play Go.
Okay, white's he's going for the Chinese bamboo variation. Chinese bamboo. There we go. Come on, black, just connect. Easiest game-winning move to find ever. Just don't let your 3 stones get captured and you're good. It worries me that... Yes! Okay. There's now a 0% chance that Andrew will lose this game.
Exactly 0?
Exactly 0. No, obviously not exactly 0. He can still screw up something. But it's highly unlikely. Black should just play it safe, take M15. Now it's okay to play safe moves. Now that you're winning, it's okay to play safe moves. Let's see what Score Estimator thinks. Score Estimator thinks black plus 91.5. That's a bit of an exaggeration because these stones here aren't actually dead, but it's not too far off. There we go. M15, the safe move. There's nothing left for white to look forward to. Black just needs to protect basically his territory down here, just so that white doesn't outpoint him here. Oh. Black says, I always get into the small local fights that end up costing me so much. Yep. Unfortunately, they do.
Throws out the manner, smile, or sad face.
Andrew is very polite.
Yeah. It's rather than actually like the big happy face that he probably has.
Yeah. Yeah. I suspect that is not the look on his face right now. Job back. Yeah. This is just a small...
So why did he do that instead of doing N16?
N16, because N16 loses. The group is completely dead. There's nothing for him to do. What this stone does is... right? It threatens to play N16, right? Because after this, N16 does kind of work. So black has to respond something like that, and he's probably hoping for something like this, which is like a couple of extra points for white, which is fine. It's just not enough. Yeah, see, that's exactly what happened. Black responded to protect that, and then white just snuck out, and it's sort of like he made a little jab, made a little push into black's territory. It's worth like 1 point. So,
but it's one like free point. Like black has to respond to it, so white might as well do it.
Yeah, that's one way to think about it. Here's the thing about Go though, like the things that are certain and true now will not be true later. So the more you commit to a situation like that, the less potential you have later on for the situation to change and for a tactic to present itself that wasn't there. So if you take all the small endgame moves that are sente right away as soon as they present themselves to you, yes, you will always pick up those 1 or 2 or 3 points as they happen, but you'll just find yourself with far fewer opportunities later in the game to basically use it as an obvious example, as a co-threat,
right,
or as a ladder breaker, or as, like it depends. Go has so many different ways that an extra move for free here is actually extremely valuable, right? So who knows what situation could have come up later on where getting this move in Sente would have been the difference between life and death for this group here, for instance.
Okay.
Right? By committing to it now, he's never going to have that opportunity again. So a lot of times it's better to leave those endgame moves for the endgame once the whole board is resolved, more or less, rather than to lose all these opportunities.
So what if it presents opportunity and gives you an extra play? Is that ever possible?
Yeah, and those are just called forcing moves, and you generally do take those as soon as possible. Okay, so...
White's resigning.
White's resigning?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It says, White is saying, has resigned. Black has won the game. This is probably the correct decision. Black has an almost unassailable territory on the bottom here, and White has an almost unassailable territory on the top here, but it's nowhere near big enough to compensate for Black's top right. Score estimator now correctly estimates Black is ahead by about 0.8. This is about right. This is about the division of territory that'll happen. Maybe Black will get less here, but not by that much. So this was the right decision. Congratulations, Mac, on your CGA League win. Well-deserved win.
Yeah.
I'm sure Phil agrees.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 1 or 2 people who watched. Hopefully it was more by the end. Yay, there were more people. Something about females. I like females.
Yep.
We are overall in favor of females at this company. Okay, cool. The next time I will be streaming will probably be this weekend with the second game of the Honeybow series. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, guys.